Celtics Nets series.
So much great action, baby.
It was such a good weekend. The first half, the Boston Celtics were on fire. Like they were in the first half, and then the second half, it was the big three. It was James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. As we expected, all performing, scoring the vast majority of the Nets points.
So can I be this dude? Can I really be this dude?
Which dude?
Okay. I'm going to be the dude that tells you guys the Nets didn't look that great.
Okay.
I'm gonna be that dude because.
What are you doing? Don't do it. Whatever you're doing, keep your shirt on.
I just wish I didn't. I wish I didn't have a shirt on. I wanted to show you my chest hairs.
Okay.
Here's the thing about the Nets. They were taking turns. That worries me, Jacoby.
It worries you.
Yeah, it worries me.
You know what? I love your Nets concern. I love it so much. You're gonna change your pick. You said they would not come out of the Eastern Conference. Over the course of this next 5 weeks, you're gonna change your pick. Because yeah, they did take turns, but they had moments. They had moments in time, like 90-second spurts where they scored 12 points. And they looked unstoppable. And I think as they play together more, as we get deeper into the playoffs, that's gonna happen more often. They're unstoppable. This is the team that's coming out of the Eastern Conference.
So I know how to distinguish the forest from the trees, right? I know greatness when I see it. As a fellow lefty, James Harden, I love him so much, what he does for us. Like to see a lefty out there balling the way he balls, I see Kevin Durant. I know for me, he's like a modern day version, a taller version of George Gervin. I know Kyrie Irving is a wizard with the basketball, but you know they only scored 104 points, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, not 140, 104.
They will. You're gonna change your pick.
Okay.
I can't wait for the day. I also can't wait to discuss Luka Doncic and the Mavericks going to Los Angeles and hanging a W on the Clippers in Game 1. So much to discuss. Stay tuned. You're
Who
watching
runs New
Jalen
York, the Nets or the Knicks?
Knicks. Come on now.
There you go.
He is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do?
We get the people.
Yes.
What? They won.
What a weekend of NBA playoff basketball. The most exciting opening weekend of my lifetime.
Wow.
And we will start with the Suns and the Lakers. It is a 2-7 series, but it doesn't feel like a 2-7 series. And the Suns got Game 1 behind Ayton and Booker. Were you surprised by the Suns?
I am not surprised. I got 2 words for you, young man. Player development. I've been telling you about this all year with Monty Williams and that coaching staff. Was that Devin Booker's first playoff game?
Yes.
Was that Ayton's first playoff game?
Didn't look like it, but yes.
It
did not at all.
Chris Paul was dealing with a shoulder injury. That may clearly be a factor as this series progresses. But this is all about Devin Booker. He scored the most points in the NBA before playing in the playoffs. Now he got a chance to play in the playoffs, and he shined. And what about Ayton? Did you see the big fella change it into the floor?
10 for 11 from the floor.
Did you see him grab
10 for 11.
Did you see him outplaying Anthony Davis?
Yes, I did,
because
Mr. Rose.
That's what happened. And by the way, Booker did it in all phases. You see it on the post. You see it in transition. You see it from 3. You see it mid-range. You know he's 4th in the league in mid-range shot. You know I know
you love that. And Jalen, as much as I love celebrating the Suns, the story of this game was Anthony Davis and his performance. Here's what the Brow had to say about it.
There's no way we're winning a game, let alone a series, with me playing the way I play. So, this was on me. I take full responsibility for sure.
First of all, why is he in his PJs, Jalen? Was he in his PJs because he was sleeping all game?
I love you so much. That's exactly what I was thinking. I swear to God. This is why we have the greatest chemistry in the history of this industry. Because let me tell you something. Anthony Davis looks like me at night at home, at the podium. That's how I am at the crib. Sometimes you ask me, do I put all of my jewelry on? Sometimes I just do that. I'm gonna have to go IG Live and show y'all. And you know what? That's how he played. And I was watching the game, we had the game. You know the thing I was saying?
What?
Hey, AD, you know that color area on the floor called the paint? It'd be awesome if you go near it.
Yeah.
It was like it was an electronic fence surrounding the paint. He didn't go near the paint.
No.
But there are 2 things that's gonna happen. The Lakers will find a way to come back and win the series, especially with Chris Paul being out. They're gonna come back.
He didn't look like
Don't panic. The Lakers will win the series. But this is my point of making the journey tougher. Your margin for error is slight. And the Lakers have to play AD at the 5. I know he told y'all he don't like playing the
Why?
five.
I don't know why he did that.
I know he don't want to take the
You're
penalties.
7 feet tall,
I know
dog.
he don't want to get the fouls. I get it. But they got to put out Drummond. They have to play Gasol because that's what Anthony wants them to do. However, if they're going to maximize their offensive potential, you see that distorted spacing right there? That's LeBron James trying to drive the basketball to the hole. You saw Andre Drummond on the baseline. Therefore, his man becomes a health defender.
Yep.
That's just what was happening. And the Phoenix Suns did a terrific job of playing boxes and elbows defensively, forcing Lakers into contested shots. The Lakers were not making their threes. It was a terrific game plan and execution by the number 2 seeded Phoenix Suns.
It was a great job by Phoenix. And I predict a huge game from Anthony Davis in game 2. But before we get to that, we have to talk about the only series that matters. The New York Knickerbockers as the 4 seed with the Garden packed. You know what, Jalen? They got a huge win yesterday. Huge win. No, they didn't win the game, but when your best player plays his worst game and it comes down to that final shot from Trae Young, that's a moral victory for the New York Knicks. Great job by the Knicks. Good job, Knicks. Good job, Knicks.
See, here comes the integrity in my job. Because when the words come out of my mouth, people are going to be like, oh, you're hating on the Knicks. Like Scott Perry isn't my brother. Like, I didn't give William Wesley the name worldwide. Like, I actually didn't play for the Knicks. Like, we're not doing this show in New York. But here's what I did do.
What?
Pick the Hawks to win this series.
That's fine. You can be wrong. You've been wrong before.
Trae Young is out there cold. He's cold outside.
Julius Randle played his worst game of the season, and it came down to a miraculous floater and a huge Bogdanovich 3 for them to win. I'm not worried as a Knicks fan. I'm not worried.
Can I tell you
Not concerned.
one of the 1 million things Trae Young and I have in common? We can't cut our hair because it's thinning up top. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore, he's shooting runners, he's shooting floaters, he's shooting from 3. And the thing about it is, what did his first playoff game?
That was his first.
And did he have over 30?
Yes.
Did he have 10 dimes?
Yes, he
Okay,
did.
was Spike Lee there?
Yes, Spike
Okay,
was there.
so he put on the show.
He did.
And that's the reason why I picked them to win, because Julius Randle was outstanding this year. And by the way, I got to say something about RJ Barrett's dunk. Julius Randle was outstanding this year, but like I told you, Nate McMillan, a defensive wizard, is not going to allow Julius Randle, who led the league in isolation, to go one-on-one. And RJ Barrett, my fellow lefty, big shout. That was a big dunk.
That was a great dunk.
You said the Knicks won, right?
Knicks won.
All
Big
of the
win.
Knicks fans, that was John Starks. That was
it.
over Horace
Might
Grant.
not get the game, but got the highlight. In New York fashion.
New Yorkers even put MJ in the poster. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just on Horace Grant. It was on MJ too. And here's the thing. I'm a lefty, and I say this with respect as a former player. RJ Barrett and I don't have hops.
No.
Right?
No. Got long arms.
So it actually has to happen perfect. And
Yes.
right there, that was, dog, you know this Jacoby.
Bogdanovich sort of contested, but like not
Bogdanovich
really.
was in it, but he didn't go
like,
after him. He didn't give him no body.
No foul.
He didn't get above the rim.
No.
He didn't foul him, and it just looked excellent. It looked excellent, right? But when it was all said and done,
I didn't like the end of the game. I didn't like the end of the game. I did not like Trae Young talking to the Garden crowd.
Why?
I did not like him with the finger to the mouth.
Why,
You know
New
what?
Yorker? Why die easy, New York Knicks fan?
You know why I didn't like it?
Why?
Because I was mad at him because he hit that floater. And Nerlens Noel should have been in the game. And you can't put Frank Ntilikina in there for no reason at the end of the game. I watched him with his headband on. I'm like, who is that with the headband? Why are you putting Frank Ntilikina in for one possession when he didn't play the entire game? He's probably surprised when coach went to him and told him to go in the game.
And Tibbs is an OG. That's when keeping the analytics goes wrong.
He made a mistake.
I promise you. I'm telling you what happens. We have one crucial stop. Let me find the guy by the numbers.
Probably has his warm-ups
the
on.
best defender.
Yeah.
There was somebody on the bench. I promise you. I promise you. Somebody that didn't play in the league. That didn't play in the league. That just crunches numbers for a living. It's like, you got to get Frankie Smokes out there right now.
No, that was a bad
He'll
call.
get one stop. It don't matter if he's stiff. It don't matter if he didn't play. Trae Young was like, oh, okay, you new to the game? Okay, cool. Take this.
Floaty. Jalen, there was one result that actually really surprised me, and that was from the Grizzlies and Jazz series. It was late, way past my bedtime. I'm watching this one, and Dylan Brooks and the Jazz beat the #1 seed, Utah Jazz.
All I know is this, and I'm pretty sure Memphis Grizzlies fans will tell you this. before the playoffs started, all season, that guy right there, Dillon Brooks, I've been giving him love for being one of my favorite irrational confidence guys, right? And also, when they were playing against the Golden State Warriors, you know what I had the nerve to do? Pick them to win.
Great job.
Pick them to win. And by the way, not only can Dillon Brooks lock down defensively, I like the toughness that he brings, okay? And now you pair him with Ja Morant and you go against a Utah Jazz team without Donovan Mitchell. And what made the Jazz special this year? The 3-ball.
Yes.
That's what made them special this year, right?
Historically well.
They broke
was
the
not
NBA,
going in.
And it was not going in.
Not going in. They didn't have another plan.
Absolutely.
No Donovan Mitchell.
And by the way, Ja Morant closed the game well again. He did it against the Warriors. He also did it against the Jazz. And again, the Jazz will find a way, in my opinion, especially if Donovan Mitchell returns, to win this series. But this is just catapulting what I thought should happen with the Memphis Grizzlies. They didn't make it last year. So now it meant so much to them. Now you go on the road against the #1 seed and you take game 1. Shout to their head coach, Taylor Jenkins.
You know who,
done a terrific
I
job
want to give
with
a
this
shout
team.
to? No one talks about Valanciunas. Valanciunas gets quiet 20 points. He gets a quiet 12 rebounds. Valanciunas deserves more flowers for what he's done, not just in this game, but all season long.
If you want to,
he's forgotten about.
Well, if you want to go deeper into the roster, Valanciunas been balling all year. I agree with you. And they won despite him being in foul trouble in the playoff game. But how about Kyle Anderson?
Yep.
What about slow motion? He's actually
you see that fast break?
Exactly. He makes timely stops and blocks and steals, and he's a really intelligent player. So I'm just happy for the Memphis Grizzlies. They're riding this momentum. And by the way, you know when people say, like, do you want rest or rust? It really helped the Grizzlies that they got challenged in the play-in by the Warriors. Brilliant idea, by the way, by Adam Silver, because you saw that edge that they played with, and the Utah Jazz were a step slow.
Jalen, another surprising result. Coming to you live above the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Anthony Rose.
What up, though?
Luka Doncic and the Mavs go to Los Angeles to take on the Clippers and come away with a win. Jalen, this was a surprising result. What did you think about this game?
Well, there were a couple of surprising results. I was just writing them down when you said it. Phoenix winning, the Hawks winning for a lot of people in this one. And this is really all about the greatness of Luka. If you look at how this Mavs team continued to mature, it was who can play alongside of Luka and make timely plays. And in this game, it was Finney Smith making threes. I think he made 5 threes.
Jr.
Tim Hardaway Jr. finds ways to get going. And Porzingis didn't really even have a big game.
But he was there.
Exactly. And so I want to first credit the Mavs defense. See, one of the things that happens when you play against the Mavs that people don't talk enough about is Rick Carlisle is a terrific strategist. And you know what they did to Zubac? They put him in pick and roll.
Yep.
And every time he was on Luka, he got cooked.
Every time.
He got cooked.
Every time.
So now, y'all got to take him out of the game. That's a piece off of the chessboard. And the other thing about the Clippers, they need better guard play. Been telling you this all year. We can talk about Kawhi and Paul George struggling. Yes. But can Patrick Beverley be the starting point guard on the championship team? That's what we have to see. This is why you bring in Rondo. This is why you try to see what you can get from Kennard. You're going deeper into your roster because you need like 3 or 4 people to play like one. And so, yes, Paul George was trending. Playoff P was trending.
Of course.
Pandemic P was trending. And you need Kawhi to take over in the fourth, which he did not. But I'm going to give all the credit to the Mavs. And by the way, for the Clippers, you better take game 2.
Oh, yeah.
You better take game 2.
Do you think they're in danger of losing the series?
I do.
I think they still win this series. I think they still win this series. I think they still win this series.
It'll be a long series.
Another great series forming Heat Bucks. This one went into overtime. The Bucks needed this one. They needed this one, and they got it from Middleton at the end of the game in overtime. Huge bucket from him. Tough shot.
Give my guy Middleton some love. Somebody like you to just appreciate fancy passes in between the leg, behind the back. What about my guy that's going to get you 20 plus without highlights? He just do it with game winners. And here's a big change for the Bucks this year. They just flat out owned that they're going to get a ball to Middleton in the clutch.
Oh, yeah. He's a closer.
That's
He's a closer.
That's a big psychological change for their roster, okay? And now that you added Holiday, who made a timely steal and a layup late in that game, you see where Giannis is? He on the baseline.
Yep.
That's what happens when you don't make threes or free throws in the game. We're going to get a ball to somebody else. And I appreciate the way Middleton stepped up and made a huge shot, because emotionally and psychologically, to lose game 1 to the Heat,
Oh no!
especially when the Bucks, especially when Butler and Bam struggled.
They didn't just struggle; they were terrible.
Right. And if you would have lost game 1, then all of a sudden you start questioning if last year was a fluke or not. But to get game 1 the way they did, it was a huge confidence boost for the Milwaukee Bucks.
And it's if you're the Heat, it's kind of like the Knicks. It's like, yes, we lost, but we were so close, and our best player or players did not perform well. We'll see what happens in game 2. This series is going to be, it's going to really pivot depending on what happens in game 2. Next series, we have to discuss Blazers and the Nuggets. The Blazers and the Nuggets. This is the 3 seed against the 6 seed, mind you. And guess what time it was, Mr. Rose?
Game time.
What time was it?
Game time.
Sure was.
You know you got a parking spot on J&J. And here's the thing I was trying to tell you about your guy, Campazzo.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Not a great night for him.
Trouble when Dame come to town.
It didn't look good. It didn't look good for my guy. I'm off Campazzo. I'm off Campazzo now. We knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know it's going to look like that. I don't know if you can put him on the floor.
Shout to Carmelo Anthony.
Yup.
So you going against your former
booed.
team, you getting booed. His terrific start to the game helped boost the Blazers. And then here's the other thing. Only 1 assist for the Joker.
Wild.
Season low.
Wild.
Now, normally when a center has 1 assist, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Especially if he had 35.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert has 1 assist. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
And he have over 30, and he have over double-digit boards. Normally, it's not like, oh, okay, he only had 1 assist. But that was actually the game plan.
Let's listen to the Blazers discuss what they had in store for Jokic.
Gotcha.
Just trying to make him score, man. It's not like we try, let him go to score, but we want him to score, basically not get involved teammates.
We know when they're at their best, he's setting the table, he's dominating the game.
They want him to score, Jalen. Explain.
That totally makes sense because he unlocks the floor for his teammates. And so now all of a sudden you double team him, you triple team him. He's spraying it out to 3-point shooters like Michael Porter Jr. When you force him to be a scorer, you stay home with those guys and you saying that you're going to make him beat you with his offense, especially without Jamal Murray. That's when you can do that.
Yep.
No Jamal Murray, no Will Barton. That's when you can use that strategy.
Jalen, finally we have the Wizards against the Sixers. Jalen, this game
The league on fire, dog.
was a little sleepy this one.
The league on fire, dog.
This one was a little sleepy, but the Sixers ended up getting the win. One thing I found interesting, Ben Simmons, they don't even need him to score. They've got Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid to produce the scoring. Ben Simmons helps in other ways.
Well, as you start to get older, like that's what maturity is, like looking yourself in the mirror and owning who you are.
Yes.
And I credit Ben Simmons for realizing I'm not going to shoot outside of the paint.
Ever.
I'm not going to be a 3-point shooter.
Ever.
And I'm just going to own my floor game. That's what you saw this year from Draymond Green, by the way.
Yep.
The exact same thing.
Yep.
And you saw Ben, 15 boards, 15 assists.
15 assists.
Terrific hustle on defense. But it was all about Tobias Harris. He had 28 points in the first half. That is that's what catapulted.
No more Ben
the
Simmons
Sixers.
slander. The guy's not a scorer, but he makes winning plays.
He's not a
Jalen,
shooter.
we have an update.